glamorous offices of Mercedes-Benz World. I'm delighted to be here for what is Cloud AV Jam session.
Brilliant. So AV Jam at Mercedes-Benz World. Can't believe I'm all the way up in the north. There is a racetrack out there somewhere. I'm sure we've got some photos.
There is. I will get you some.
No, just to make you feel good. It's pouring down with rain here, so it's exactly the same kind of weather you probably have got at home. Don't feel bad.
Bright sunshine here, mate. Bright sunshine.
Except we're surrounded by £500,000 cars and being driven around and chauffeur driven and all sorts. But other than that, it's almost like you being at home.
So enough about the cars. How's the event going?
The event is going great. So we started this morning. We had two presentations. We had actually one presentation, funny enough, on cloud. And we had a second presentation, which was done by a gentleman called Mark Gallagher. He's worked with the likes of Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher, and all sorts of different famous people in the Formula industry. Very insightful. The cloud side of things was fascinating, in my opinion, I would say this, but it's going great. We're expecting about 600 people in total. And so far, touch wood, it's going great. Thank you.
I love it when you get a keynote who's from outside of what we do every day. And I sat through Mark's presentation. And I love that he shared stories about, I think I've just tweeted it, about how Formula One's had to ride adversity that we've completely ignored. Tobacco sponsorship, financial crisis, where their money comes from, how they've changed and evolved as a business. It makes you think what we've got to do in our industry is small time compared to what they've done, right?
Yes.
So you said 600 people. Is that where you expected it to be?
That's correct. So far, we seem to be on track.
Yeah.
We've still got another hour of people we are expecting to attend, and all going well, except for any crashes or anything taking place behind us with people being driven around. We should reach the 600 mark.
There is a skid pan out there, so it is inevitable.
So long as it matches when you finish, that you have 600 in and 600 out, you're fine, mate.
Yes, or else we've done something seriously wrong, and I think we may be in some serious trouble. But more seriously, yes, 600 people, 35 vendors, and we're focusing very much around the hardware. And as I said, the cloud is a big focus for us this year for obvious reasons, which I guess we're going to touch on in a minute.
As a value-added distributor, and you bring them value to us, how do you make events relevant now? How do you encourage 600 people to break out of their workday and come, for us, a couple of hours or more, down to Mercedes World off the M25?
Yes.
It's not the easiest location to get to, but you got a good turnout. How do you do that?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
He'll let you know at the end of it.
I think we're very fortunate. What we do is we rely very much on the marketing, obviously, team, with social media being a very strong focus, obviously, these days. We have a sales team, which obviously contact with the customer base. But we try to make sure we actually got a message which is relevant, and that's where the likes, obviously, talking to yourself, Jason, very regularly, on a regular basis we get to speak, is to really understand the pain point that you are seeing in the marketplace and what, more importantly, your client see as being relevant. And I think as a distributor, more and more, we are accepting that we need to be probably detaching ourselves from a product focus and having solutions for the end user. And that's not obviously cutting out the reseller, but just really making sure that it's relevant through feedback from yourself. And that's what we try to do. Do we do it well? Obviously, I leave you to be judged about it. That's our goal.
Well, we haven't done the expo bit yet, but I'll be doing that later today.
What I like was with your opening gambit when we were at the show. It's kind of nice from my point of view. You guys are seeing the services that you offer from that value add from, which was nice for me, from that pre-sales, the amount of emphasis you put on your pre-sales team to ensure that you're able to add that value to us as the reseller when maybe some of them resellers aren't as skilled up as they need to be, or something new, something's changing.
Yes.
Your whole cloud piece has changed completely, knowing that you've got that pre-sales and the emphasis you put on that for someone like me doing the same role.
Yes.
I do like that.
Good. I'm glad
It shows how important we are as pre-sales.
What did I say? The unknown soldiers of the SAS, I think.
They're not unknown.
Yes!
Well, he's not, that's for sure.
He's hardly unknown.
We are the soldiers. We're done.
So, Cloud,
Yes.
your specialist subject, you talked about it in your keynote. We wanted to talk about cloud. I mean, what is it? Start with you.
What is cloud? Because there's so many things with cloud. Good and bad, I feel. I mean, if you look at cloud is massive. You look at our industry, you do the AV, the UC, all that. You see where it's going, and I get there's a drive from end users wanting this. The bit I don't like with that is manufacturers seem to have almost given up with a lot of on-prem. The stats are showing that come 2020, they're going to stop doing it. My concern with that is the more secure environments that still need it. I think the big thing that, for me, what we're probably seeing for the next 2 or 3 years, yes, things will become cloud in whatever guise it is, but I think at the minute we are very much in a more of a hybrid space, very much a hybrid cloud. You look at people that are doing more creative things, more processor intensive things, they can't move everything to the cloud. We've got people that have such a security risk, they can't move things to cloud. Some of the big vendors that are now pushing voice as part of a UC strategy, their cloud voice isn't as advanced as some of the others, so you're still needing a hybrid element for the voice. So I still think at the minute we are in a transition, yet I truly do believe we are going to go full cloud. I just feel at the minute some people are forgetting that not everybody needs it, and that's my worry.
In the mid-market, are we seeing the end of voice in the cloud is the big one? Are we seeing the end of the PBX in the mid-market?
You've got to assume that's the case, right? Yeah. Everybody that's had these old pot systems that are cabled in by a bit of copper wire into the building, get it. The first thing they want to do nowadays is get rid of it because it's far more cost effective to run it in a VoIP platform. Get a handset, soft client, whatever.
I'm definitely seeing some of that transition taking place. And if I may, going back to your question, which is what is cloud, it's a really tough one because you asked for 35 vendors, let's say, here today. Yeah. They're probably going to give you a bit of a different answer. Each of them will have a daily...
it's kind of like a dumb question, but isn't, right?
It should be a really simple one to answer. I can tell you what it's not, and that's certainly not infrastructure on the customer premise. Yeah. Because that is on-premise, so that's easy. That's what cloud is not. That's maybe one way of putting it that is not really answering very well. But I think your comment indeed was that I think 90% of business leaders will not be buying any new infrastructure by 2020 or 2021. And I think that's quite telling because I think what it means is there'll still be 10% willing to buy infrastructure. Yeah. You know, like we all know it in terms of video conferencing and EFI communication. But I think there's still indeed this transition where people want to what is called sweat their assets because they've got the equipment, they can't move it straight away, so they accept they're going to wait. But it's almost certainty that we see it with that day to day. I mean, I'm moving a bit subject, maybe something we're going to touch on, but you know, you look at Netflix, you look at Amazon, you look at all these things. It's in that day to day. Business is going to go in a similar way.
This is so true. I mean, cloud for so long used to kind of do this cycle, almost like a 7-year people would go private or public, or they do on-prem. The big transition to cloud now has never had the legs that it ever had in the past. As you said, touching on things like Netflix and Amazon and YouTube, everything is now there. It's become so consumable by consumers, people are just expecting that same thing. But as I said, my fear sometimes is there's not too big a push. The push is right, but sometimes there's a jump before things are totally ready.
I think that's a really interesting point. And if I may kind of add to this, is I think sometimes when cloud is always the right solution. It's not. Because sometimes a cloud will not be the right solution.
The good thing about cloud, right, and on top of all of this and the good stuff that you talk about is about the benefits that come out of the end of it, right? And the only reason that cloud works for the Netflix and the Amazon and the video and everything else happens is because of the benefits. And they outweigh the cost of buying all this infrastructure, managing it yourself, and all of the other jazz that we know about.
As Noel said, with the benefits aren't always cost-driven as well. It's that functionality that you've been given. As he said with Netflix, the infinite scalability, that potential infinite scalability of cloud is something for them that will drive them that you're never going to get with that on-premise. So the benefits don't always have to be cost, functionality, growth, productivity, especially when you look at the Microsoft world that we all see.
Scalability as well, right?
Yeah, massively, I think so.
Yes, I agree. I think you touched on this already. I'm reiterating what you're saying. Speed of deployment with cloud, you can really be up and running really quickly. You don't need to have maybe your own technical resource in-house. You don't need to maybe have potentially a quite expensive resource looking after your infrastructure. It's a bit of use as you want. in terms of an extra employee, hey, you just add an extra license, an extra cost, which may be more complex for infrastructure. But again, I think we all agree also that it's a case that cloud is not always right. Some companies will want to control their whole infrastructure and will be willing to put a resource to manage it. Therefore, is cloud always right? No. I think it depends the need of the clients every time.
So, we're about right for time. This is another one we can come back and do a part 2 on. We'd love to get you back again, Joel. But for now, do the subscribe. He's been Joel. He's been Kev. He's been Noel. I've been Jace. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Thank you.